the shooting range. In this episode, witness me how to earn eternal glory using our tournaments page, massive battles, and the Vinci tank. We go through a new set of awesome user-made missions from live.warthunder.com. Hotline. The developers answer questions that you left in the comments. But first, let's start with P63A5 Kingcobra, the American jack of all trades. Heavy and sluggish. These are probably the first things that come to mind when you fly the Kingcobra for the first time. A very unfortunate first impression indeed. Then you get too used to its 4 underwhelming Brownings and a cannon, a powerful 37mm gun with somewhat poor ballistics, and can't help but question the combat effectiveness of this aircraft. Well, guess what? This American fighter is no death machine. You won't be able to down an opponent from miles away and might have difficulties chasing down nimbler targets. But it's good, an honest, all-altitude fighter that shreds through enemy aircraft at close range. A good hit from a cannon is often all you need to turn almost any opponent into a ball of flame. A very satisfying experience. A few things to consider. Forget about flaps at speeds above 400 kilometers an hour. And it's not that combat flaps might tear away, the aircraft just performs better without them. Before you hit that 400 kilometer mark though, at 350 kilometers an hour and higher, combat flaps are quite useful, and raised or landing flaps can really come in handy while stalling or trying to make some extra tight turns. It's a stable and reliable flyer. It doesn't have gimmicks, it just gets the job done. Do you remember the maneuvers that you can pull off by using your rudder? Everything on that list is an option when you fly the Kingcobra. Just don't overdo it, or you might become an easy target. The Kingcobra is also surprisingly okay at turning at high speeds. At 750 kilometers an hour, there is still no flutter, and you're not likely to lose a wing while diving. Its straight line speed, especially at high altitudes, is nothing to sneeze at. You can even shake the 109s off. Always try to keep an energy advantage. Be aware of all things that make you bleed energy, including shooting. Every shot from the cannons means that you lose some speed, so leave it for close-range shots that are bound to connect. All in all, it takes some time to get used to this fighter, but it's all worth it. This trusty beast will get you out of many tight corners. Now let's talk about a magical place where you can always get fix of your high-level battles and last-minute clutches. It's all well and good when it comes to random battles, but at some point you just want a bigger challenge. Welcome to tss.warthunder.com, where anyone can try his or her hand at competitive War Thunder. The interface is pretty straightforward. Go straight to the Tournaments tab. Here's where the magic happens. There is a comprehensive list of all active events, as well as some info about recent tournaments. Feel free to click on the Settings and Details buttons. There's usually all the information you might need. Rules, prizes, modes, statistics, you name it. Let's register for the Air Tournament 101 in the Realistic Battles mode. Click on that big green button that says Join. You'll get a pop-up window giving you 2 options: to start a new team all on your own, or to search for a team to play with your comrades. This time, every man fights for himself, so we chose the first variant. Here you'll have to give your team a name, provide some basic information about it, or write a whole poem about your exploits in dactylic hexameter, nobody stops you, and leave your contacts, usually just a nickname. You can also set a password that will come in handy in team tournaments. This way random people won't be able to get in. Slam that button, and you're almost there. Now you see a new window listing the stats of all the players that are on your team. There's also a link and an option to disband the whole thing. After you get all the people you wanted, press this button to confirm your registration. That's it, you're all set. Now the system knows that you're ready. Check the top right corner. There's a timer showing you how much time you got before the start of the competition. When it ticks down to 0, the site creates a tournament table and displays a new timer. That's the countdown to your next fight. At around 10 minutes before the match, you'll be invited to the session. Show the system that you're ready, wait for your opponent or opponents to do the same, and off you go to your first big fight of the day. Keep an eye on those invitations. If you keep climbing the ladder, you'll be receiving them until the competition is over. Participating in a tournament can be quite an intimidating experience when you do it for the first time. Feel free to learn the ropes in a special training match that you can set up on the My Tournaments tab. Just find the event that you're interested in, create a training session, get a link that you can send to your friend, and here you go. Just like a real tournament, but with no consequences. That's basically all you need to know. When you feel that you're ready to be a contender, jump in and let the hell break loose. And now for something completely different. Let's forget about those serious matches and high stakes and delve into the crazy treasure trove that is live.warthunder.com. Madness it is then. That's right. This is a scenario where a Flak 88 has to fight M4s and Cromwells, and that's basically it. As if you need anything else. If you like this kind of thing, check other contributions of the creator that goes by the name of IzzyH616. There are quite a few other interesting options. If you want something slightly more serious, take a look at this custom mission made by Lord of Sofa and Results 45. This thing is absolutely massive. You and your team have only one objective, to cross the river and obliterate the enemy. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, guess what? The battle takes place over the entire map of Tunisia. There are 18 dynamic caps, 20 invisible spawn points, and 4 chances to cross the river. And the duo of creators are not even done yet, so stay tuned for future updates. The last but not least is this mission, which is basically a sneak peek behind the scenes of the upcoming Italian update. What? Didn't you want to get Italian armor as well? Let us quote the creator, Endless Nights. The Da Vinci Mark I is the first and the oldest of all Italian tanks. What it lacks with its wooden armor and its hand-cranked engine, it makes up for in firepower, boasting a load of not 1, not 2, but 8 cannons. There is really nothing else to add, and don't say anything about the quality of the model. It's still very early development. Now it's time for the traditional last part of our show, Hotline, developers answering questions from the comments. Strictly speaking, it's not the most serious-minded section of the show. If you want answers to be given with solemn faces, feel free to appeal to the official War Thunder forums. Here we'll have a more lighthearted discussion of the big questions of War Thunder. Then there's a message from a player called Jason Jeekins. Hey Gaijin, what programming language do you use? Hi Jason, mainly C++. Protein Enhancement Formula writes, I know you guys love to bring underdogs of history to the spotlight. What are your thoughts on a trio with nations like Sweden, Argentina, China, Belgium, Hungary, Finland, etc.? At the moment, we have some plans involving Swedish and Czech vehicles. Other European nations might also make it into the mix, but we can't tell you any details yet. The thing is, we've been adding a ton of new stuff into the game lately, and now we want to make sure everything works as intended, to polish things up, you know? A player called Pervanov asks, Hey Gaijin, are you aware that the new Assault mode is unbeatable? Do you plan on making it a little bit easier? Hey mate, it's not unbeatable though, it just relies heavily on teamwork and team coordination. Try to do it with some friends. The last and a very important message comes from the Mr. Atomic Gamer 16. This is a raid. Put the Golden Eagles into the bag and move your Tiger 2 out of the way. No can do, mate. The Soviets disrupted our supply chain, so we ran out of fuel a couple of days ago. And the other last message from Christopher Lum. I feel insulted every time they pick a stupid question like the last one to answer in the hotline. Hi, Christopher. How do you feel now? That's it for today, but feel free to write your questions in the comments below. We do read them all, and you might see some of them answered in the next episode. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the shooting range.